To present our next speaker is going to be one of the team members who made this summit a possibility. We have Susan Fraze, online instructor with the Center for Advanced Academics and a board member of Kairos, All Things Alzheimer's. Susan, over to you.
You're on mute, Susan.
Okay, we'll start over. Hi, I'm Susan, and I'm very glad to be here with you. Before I introduce Lisa Thomas Prince, who's the program manager of UW Health Mindfulness Practice, I'd like to say little bit about how helpful having a mindfulness practice is to me as a spouse of someone with dementia who's now in memory care, as well as a caregiver for my 93-year-old father who moved in with me from assisted living at the start of the pandemic. I'm not able to be with my husband. I was for a while, for almost 2 months, I was able to visit him, which was wonderful. And now I'm in that position, as the other speaker was talking about, of being so grateful for the care staff and so grateful that I have a solid connection with them. And look to the day that I'm be able to be back holding my dear friend's hand. In any event, my dad also is living with me. He does not have dementia, although he's declining. I'm very glad to be able to care for him. My mindfulness practice includes daily meditation, but it's also a framework for being with my feelings and thoughts, and feelings and thoughts that can threaten to overwhelm, but can be moved through by staying present right where I am. There's lots of learning every day and lots of intensity. And in that context, I'd like to mention, I have the book and now I don't have it in my hands. I'd like to mention this book. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll put it in the chat. It's called Caring for a Loved One with Dementia, a mindfulness-based guide for reducing stress and making the best of your journey together, by Marguerite Mantow Rao. Like I said, I'll put it in the chat when Lisa starts. When my husband was diagnosed with vascular dementia almost 4 years ago, my son gave me the gift of a UW mindfulness-based stress reduction class, saying, "Mom, you are going to need this." and honestly, what a gift and what a son. As Dr. Vinny pointed out yesterday, a mindfulness practice alone doesn't solve everything, but truthfully, it allows me as a caregiver to survive and even thrive. And yes, to love my dear ones more than ever, which I think is the most important part. And to love, and it helps me underline my love for life, but my love for those that I'm caring for. So I'm very pleased to introduce Lisa Thomas Prince, whom I met when she was facilitating a mindfulness drop-in session at UW Health. Lisa is the program manager, as I said, of the mindfulness program there. She's a wonderfully clear and engaged mindfulness instructor, and we are lucky to have Lisa with us today.
Thank you so much, Susan. And thank you to Fatu and Binta and the whole planning committee for inviting me to be with you all today. Can you hear me okay? Thumbs up, yep, okay, great, thank you. I'm so humbled after hearing all of those personal stories and just so grateful for this community that's come together, and that it's a community of people from all over the country and all over the world, actually, which is just amazing. And I'm very thankful that in the midst of all of the sharing, in the midst of the science-based presentations yesterday and the networking that's happening and the sharing of all the resources, I'm really feeling grateful that the committee has given this time and space for mindfulness to be part of your overall experience. And with Susan's very personal experience and story that she just shared, and also the information that Dr. Vinny shared yesterday, I feel like they've just fertilized the ground for me to be able to come in. I'm going to really focus on offering you a practice. Because mindfulness really is, I think Dr. Vinny mentioned that, like it's one of those things that's sort of hard to define with words and probably best experienced. So what I wanted to do today is to take some time and offer this practice. And the one that I selected today is one I hope will serve in the way, as Gina Green Harris mentioned, serve in nourishing and supporting your perseverance for the work that you all are doing. Because as you know, I've heard people point to a number of times, not only is it challenging work in general, but to be doing the work you're doing in the midst of the COVID pandemic and the other stresses in our world right now, we all need as much nourishment for the long haul as we can find. And I really think that mindfulness is a wonderful opportunity for self-care, for nourishment, for resilience and perseverance that has few to no side effects. It really is one of those things that kind of like the more you explore, the more you start to see the way the benefits come in multiple ways, oftentimes in unexpected ways. Mindfulness is a practice that really is about tuning our attention into the present moment. And as human beings, we so often tend to get drawn away into concern or worries about what might happen in the future, or reliving or rehashing things that happened in the past. And oftentimes we fail to even really be fully here, in the here and now. And so it's kind of like flexing a muscle to bring our attention back into the present moment. And I'll say this when I share classes with kids: how strong would your bicep muscle be if you did 1 push-up a day? Maybe not so strong. How strong would that muscle be if you did 15 or 20 push-ups every day for a week or 2 weeks? The muscle would be stronger, right? So it's similar with mindfulness. The more we can flex our muscles of mindful attention, the stronger those muscles, our muscles of attention in our mind, the stronger they can be and support us through times when we may be struggling or facing a really significant or serious challenge. And so it's best when we can practice mindfulness in times of calm or peace and build that muscle so that it's there when we need it. So are you game? Are you ready to try something out today? Thumbs up. All right. You can just sit back and relax. I'm just going to guide you through a practice. And this practice is one that's a blend of mindfulness and compassion. And it's inspired by the teachings of John McCransky, who is a professor of theology at Boston College. And he points to this idea that we really can only be good at providing care to others when we can recognize moments when we ourselves have been the receivers of care. Or at least we'll have a better opportunity to persevere or to have sustainability in our caring for others when we can tap into those moments when we've received care. So this is going to be a practice of tuning into a caring moment. And as we begin, I invite you to just, you've been sitting and looking at the screen for a while today, and perhaps yesterday as well. So take a moment and just tune into your body's needs right now. Maybe offer a stretch, stand up if you need, do whatever your body might be calling for. This is a time for you. So if that includes like a little bit of a shimmy or a dance, feel free. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but like I've been doing a lot of Zoom time these days. So sometimes just simply like turning away from the screen. And if you have a window nearby, like looking at a tree or something outside of your window, can help to be just a nice reminder of what's really here in this present moment. And then if you've taken a stretch or a movement, finding your way back to a calm and relaxed position, and taking a few cleansing breaths to begin here. So being purposeful about really filling your lungs on the inhale, maybe even noticing the expansion of the lungs on the sides of your body and the back side of your body. And then really trying to exhale the air all the way out of the body, maybe even with a verbal sigh. One of the benefits of Zoom is that you can make noise and nobody else needs to hear. So 2 more times, breathing in nice and big and full, and breathing out, letting it all out. One more time. Big inhale and a big exhale. And then as we settle in here to this practice, just allowing the breath to move at its own natural pace. So you don't need to control it or worry about it for the next few moments. Just allow yourself to be breathed. You might just notice some sensations of like the chest rising and falling as we inhale and exhale. You might notice a little bit of sound or the movement of air around the nostrils. The great thing about being able to just spend a few moments noticing our breathing is that it brings us into the present moment. And similarly, this physical body that we navigate the world with also keeps us grounded in the present moment. So allow your attention to rest on a place where your body is making contact with something. So maybe you notice like the backs of the legs resting on the chair. Or maybe you notice your back leaning against something. Or maybe if you're moving or walking, you notice the soles of the feet connected to the ground. Whatever it is, just feeling the body supported here, connected to the ground and ultimately the earth beneath. Gravity holding us here. Just letting yourself be held. And if it's comfortable for you, you can allow the eyes to softly close, or maybe you just want to find a point towards the ground that you can rest the eyes on, so they don't need to keep looking around. Maybe even turning away from the screen for a few moments. And in this way, we bring our attention inward rather than outward. And as we tune the attention inward, we allow ourselves this opportunity to be with things just as they are right now. I noticed yesterday in the chat, someone referenced the idea of simply allowing ourselves to feel our feelings as a form of self-care. So just as best we can, we bring our attention into our experience in this moment without needing to change it. And importantly, without judging it. without telling ourselves that it should be something different. Just recognizing whatever it is that's here, whether it be a sense of calm and relaxation or a sense of anxiety and worry. All things are welcome. All experiences are welcome here. And when you find that the mind is being drawn off into thinking again, you can always just flex that muscle and with a smile, just invite your attention back to something that helps you rest in the present moment. Maybe those sensations of breathing, or maybe the feeling of your body resting in your seat. And you may have to do that 5 times or 50 times or 500 times while I'm talking. It doesn't matter. It's okay. So for this practice, I invite you to recall a time in your life. Maybe it was just a brief moment, a short interaction, but a time when you experienced being cared for or appreciated or held or seen, really understood by another being. Maybe it was just a brief interaction with a person, or maybe even with a pet. Doesn't even have to be a human being. Maybe it was of the 4-legged variety, those furry creatures who give us their unconditional love. Just see if you can land on a time when someone or some being was with you in a simple, loving way, taking joy in you, in your presence. Maybe it was a moment of play or laughter, a moment of care that they offered, a moment of deep listening to you, or simply quietly offering their presence to you. Notice if you feel like there's so many different moments or having a hard time landing on one. As best you can, try not to make it a struggle. Just see for today. Just choose one to work with for this practice today. And if it feels difficult to recall a moment like that with another being, it could even be a moment when you were supported in nature. Maybe feeling relaxed and at ease in a favorite spot outdoors, or feeling like you were being listened to by the winds or the trees nearby. So without making a big deal of trying to find the perfect moment, or without getting caught up in the story of it all, see if you can just land on an example, a moment like this from your life. Hopefully we've all had at least 1 or 2 moments like this of receiving care, of being really seen and appreciated by someone or something else. Now I invite you to bring that moment and some of the details of it to your mind, not as a distant memory, but as if it were happening right now, as if you were in that moment now. So maybe recalling some elements of like the environment you were in, maybe the sights or the sounds that were happening at the time. See if you can rest into the sense of that moment right now. Sometimes when I do this, I even notice like a smile come to my face, or a sense of warmth in my heart area as I remember being in this moment with care and joy. See if you can rest into the tender qualities of being truly seen, of being loved and appreciated by someone. And bring some curiosity to the experience now of accepting that energy into your whole body and mind, bringing that energy of love and appreciation into every part of your body, into every layer of feeling and emotion. Noticing the qualities or the sensations that are present now. Sometimes there might be like a tingling or a vibration in certain parts of the body. And if there's nothing to, that's not a problem. Don't worry about it. Don't struggle with it. Just see if you can rest into this sense as if every part of you is loved in its very being, right here, right now. And when you notice the mind wandering again, with a smile, we just invite the mind back into this caring moment. Let the loving power of the moment just draw your attention right back into it. And if it's helpful, sometimes I find like placing a hand over my chest, over my heart space, can be a nice way to ground myself right here in the present moment. Or maybe even just holding the one hand with the other. Some kind of offer of physical touch can be support. Resting with the tender qualities of receiving care. And now, if you feel ready to, you can let the image of that particular moment just kind of fade into the background and just rest with the felt sense of love, of warmth perhaps, or of deep acceptance. As we continue to breathe in and out, allowing these qualities to fill every part of the body. And let this help your heart and your mind to settle a little bit, to trust. Release any patterns of thinking or feeling, and just relax into the space of deep acceptance. Letting all things be just as they are, not needing to change, not needing to judge. Just resting here and feeling the breath moving in and out of the body. Resting here for a few more rounds of inhalation and exhalation. Warm and open present moment awareness. And as we close this mindful compassion practice, I'll offer these words from John Kabat-Zinn, who was the founder of the mindfulness-based stress reduction program, he reminds us that as long as we are breathing, there's more right with us than wrong. As long as you are breathing, there is more right with you than wrong. So as you're ready, you can allow the eyes to open if they were closed and invite a little bit more movement back into the body, maybe opening and closing the hands or stretching again. And I'm wondering if on the heels of that practice, if people might just put in a word or two into the chat box of something that you noticed during that brief practice. A sensation, a quality, perhaps an emotion that arose. What did you notice in tuning your attention to a caring moment from your life? I'll just read off a few. Compassion. Kathy offers compassion. Will says gratitude. Janet says quiet. Contentment. From one of the Oziomas on the call, calmness. Yeah, that the caring of the past is right here now. Yeah. A sense of peace. And again, as I said before, even if it's not a sense of, contentment or peace, this one says relaxation, even if it's difficulty, that's welcome too. So please don't hesitate to add something into the chat box that maybe wasn't what you thought it might otherwise be. Calming. Somebody really was in the moment, walking on the beach in Florida, feeling the warmth of the sun and the cool water on my feet. Yeah, we're all going to need those kinds of moments to get us through the winter in Wisconsin here. Somebody, yeah, sharing. Thank you for sharing a feeling of restlessness or having difficulty in relaxing. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And it's important to recognize that the practice of mindfulness is different from the practice of like guided relaxation. We don't enter into the practice for the purpose of relaxing. Oftentimes it's an outcome or it's an impact of being in the practice. But some days when I sit down to practice my mindfulness practice, it's anything but relaxing. But over time, I find that I have more resilience, more capacity to stay present through some of the most difficult things. So it's one of those efforts that is cumulative. And if on a certain day you find that you're sitting down in hopes of finding some calm, and it's not that, it's okay. I know it may not feel okay, but it is okay. Yeah, thank you all for sharing those experiences. I want to highlight that sharing, Susan offered that the caring of the past is right here now. So in this way of tuning into a caring moment, we can resource ourselves when we feel anything but cared for, when we're approaching those moments of feeling burnt out or exhausted by the care that we're offering to others. If we can just take 3 minutes or 5 minutes, or hopefully maybe even 15 or 20 minutes to sit somewhere quietly and tune back in to our experience of having been cared for previously, what happens is it awakens these qualities that are always with us. They're always here with us, but sometimes we forget. And actually, it's one of the beautiful definitions of the word mindfulness in its original form. One of the definitions is to remember. And so I offer this practice to you today to carry with you and to experiment maybe with tapping into those caring moments, allowing yourself to become more aware of them over time, but also remembering that they're here, They're right here now, and they're at your disposal when you most need them. So again, Susan shared the book that she found super helpful, which combines mindfulness practices with this idea of being in a caregiver role for someone with dementia. I want to also offer our program, the UW Health Mindfulness Program, offers classes and trainings and also free drop-in sessions, which now during the pandemic are being offered online via Zoom like this. So for those of you who are living in other communities, if you're interested in trying some of our mindfulness meditations that are guided like I did today by one of our instructors, you are more than welcome to join us. And those details of the mindfulness drop-in sessions are available on our website. So I'm going to put that into the chat. It is uwhealth.org/mindfulness. We have a Tuesday morning drop-in session that meets weekly, and we have a Friday evening drop-in session that meets every other week. And we also have a drop-in session specifically for people of color, which is led by our instructors who are people of color. So if you're part of that community or know somebody who would be interested in taking part, those meet every other week on Monday afternoons, and they're all freely offered. So we welcome you to join us for those sessions. So just one other thing I wanted to mention, mindfulness is a form of meditation, but it's also a way of being. So we have formal practices like the one that we just did today, and there are informal practices like when you're out for a walk, if that's part of your version of self-care, tuning into the sounds that are around you, or really feeling your feet on the ground as you take a few steps. Grounding your awareness in the present moment can be a form of building your resilience. And so mindfulness can be done sitting down, it can be done laying down, it can be done standing up or walking. There are lots of different versions of the practice. Some can be done in 30-minute sessions, some could be done in 30-second sessions. Simply just tuning into the inhale and exhale, one round of breath, is a very brief form of a mindfulness practice. So I hope this has been helpful for you today. I hope that you'll have a chance to continue to explore some mindfulness practices, and hopefully these additional resources can be part of your overall toolkit for self-care as caregivers. And I just want to offer my gratitude and appreciation for all of you for the work that you do and the way that you're offering yourselves here as part of this greater community. Thank you all. And I will just close with wishes for your well-being, wishes for your safety, for your happiness, and for all of those that you're caring for as well. May they be in peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. That was really needed. Like, I feel super relaxed, and I'm sure that's not just for me. That was really great. Thank you. Fatu has a thing or two to say before we end the day. Fatu, if you're available, you can turn your mic on and then we can get going.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Binta. And thank you, everyone. All right. Now I can see myself. All right. So thank you, Lisa. That was beautiful. I echo Binta. I felt relaxed and I truly needed that as a closing. So, and I'm pretty sure others feel the same. I want to take this time again to thank everyone. I mean, all of you. I don't take this act lightly, and I don't take your presence lightly as well. I am truly, truly grateful for the time you took to be with us, to learn and to practice. Isn't that beautiful?
Wonderful.
I need to practice. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you. I truly appreciate you all. Our hope is this is one of many. We'll try to bring this on an annual base. My hope is that it's always going to be in November because it's the caregiver month. And we'll honor the caregivers by sharing space, by learning together, and by practicing, just like we did this weekend. I'm truly honored to have you all be with us. And I want to immensely thank you. I also want to thank again our planning team. You did an incredible work in a short amount of time. This was like all hands on deck in the way that all hands on deck is meant to be. Like, Bani sent me information that she was working on at 2 something a.m. I responded to it like around 4 something a.m. and I said, Bani, we both need to sleep. So that's how hard everything and everyone was working, especially in these final days, just to make sure all things aligned for all of you that are joining us or that joined us for this 2-day summit. Um, Joy, Catherine, Nima, Binta, Joanne, Kathy, Karen, you all are incredibly amazing. And I'm so very thankful and lucky to call you out, guys, my friends, my family, my mentors, and my colleagues. I'm a very lucky person, I would say that. I say that all the time, but I want to share that with you all because I feel loved, I feel supported in this community. It meant the world to me. It truly does. Thank you. Winter will hear our gratitude about our sponsors, but I just wanted to just share my thoughts, my feelings. Truly, words cannot do justice for it. And plus, if this was in Mandinka, maybe I will elaborate more. But English isn't my thing, isn't my language. So that too is there. Um, but just know I feel you, I love you, and I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Fatu, and thank you to everyone who has been sharing this space for the past 2 days, everyone who's come and shared their experiences, their knowledge, and their work. So beautiful, such a great team. And thank you all for being here. I also want to just,
I just talking from memory. I don't think I mentioned Susan and Catherine. So
I was seeing Susan underneath, like Susan and Catherine.
see, that's what happened if you talk in from memory. But I mean, and those people, Susan and Catherine, are also board members of All Things Alzheimer's. So yeah, there you have it. I am grateful to both of you.
Thank you. But we also want to say thank you to our sponsors, Cares to Home Care, Comfort Care for You, ADRC, which is the Aging and Disability Resource Center, the Wisconsin Alzheimer's Institute, UW, Wisconsin Alzheimer's Disease Research Center, UW ADRC, Dane County Human Services, the Alzheimer's Association, Alzheimer's Dementia Alliance of Wisconsin, AILS for Alzheimer's, Greater Wisconsin Agency in Aging Resources, and finally, Kairasu, All Things Alzheimer's. We want to say a very big thank you for the support and sponsorship for seeing that this is a successful event. And also, thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you to the planning team and for every attendee, every participant. Thank you so much for spending these days with us, sharing your experiences. We are incredibly honored to be sharing this space with you, and we really thank you for everything that we have shared these past 2 days. Thank you all very much. Let them leave first. Let them leave first.
Iko ninye kabila kendoje musu kendo lebelo ringa kuma tunyalem na kabilo barakata kende kende tumengi tenu musu ya bangu mama hanitare kola nino tekena noina mama musongania senemo itelemira buntatogani ndikita kenganyani kuninganya tanyaminga kenyaringoti kuna mama muso onayata kuna mama muso tina te futa ta jali asobe mato ninte buto mama ke itele yatina teye ninjali asilota kang futa nina roma kodingo